in entrepreneurial activities? Have they opened their own business? Then during graduation, stories, bring them there during graduation. Say, Tom, Dick, and Harry were here, they learned this. This is how this course has helped them. They are now driving their Mercedes here. To encourage those people who are sick, copy those ones. It is an encouragement. So basically, we'll have a few of the major stakeholder. The major stakeholder is the trainee inside a training institution. You know, we are talking to ourselves, isn't it? We need trainees who are actively being trained now so that they give us the feedback. How are they interacting with what we are giving them? What is it that they think that we can improve? Also, we can also bring the success stories. I was whispering to my chair. We can pick a person who trained in carpentry, has opened the very biggest workshop in Taita Taveta, is making a lot of money, because that success story will encourage others who are still in the rural villages to come and also join our TVET institutions so that we increase enrollment in the TVET space. I hope I've answered your question substantially. Thank you very much. I can add something. Elsewhere, we do what is called assessment of completion rate. How many came in Taita Taveta National Polytechnic? How many completed the course and graduated? Out of those people who completed and graduated, how many benefited from the training they got? Did they get employed and where? And the other ones who never got anything. So those are what I was talking about. And even the dropout rate, those things can be monitored. The people came in, how many did not complete the course? How many completed? Where did they end after completing? So it may not be the role of this authority, TVETA, but we can also ask them as general questions. How many have you gone through the process in the 3 years? Because you can't do it in 1 year. If somebody is doing a diploma, it's a 3-year course, isn't it? So by the time he is coming, maybe the student is in 2nd year, waiting to complete and to graduate. The tracer studies matter belong to the institution. But they have heard you. I think management can coin something. We can add something under tracer studies, isn't it?
Thank you. I want to close that one so that we take the last ones. We will carry on the debate later on, maybe another. But we've heard you. And we will take your inputs at an appropriate time. So can we have the last 3? There are many, more than 3. So I have him as first, the guy in red, second, then we come here. We can take the 4 of them. The last one, yule wako kwa mlango, so that we don't leave anybody. Yeah. Okay, start with your name and then go to the question.
My name is Kiru Kimani from Nyandara, and I wish to address the issue of mounting unlicensed courses. And probably because it could be trending as so. And I was feeling, as we are seated here, because we have because you find with this, we have had several changes in CBET curricula. And it's now easier for me to mount a CBET curriculum as a QAB, though I did not entirely develop that curriculum, because I can easily adapt and adopt. The State Department. However, the State Department has not fully taken up to completion. We have what we call Cycle 2, or Harmonized Curriculum of the CBET curricula. The consortium developed 152 curricula. Under Cycle 3, a number of curriculum was adopted from TVET CDAC, raising this to 184, which, in the eyes of TVETA, the only curriculum from the consortium of national polytechnics remains at 152, despite moving from 152 to 184. Reason being, the work done by the State Department, it was completed, a report is submitted to the PS. However, the same curricula needed to be transmitted to TVET authority, to the board. Once ratified, then that's the time we can adopt. So I was feeling now that we are here, the State Department is represented, probably we need to complete that process so that when we are now seeking accreditation of additional courses, they can go through, because we have a number pending which have been deferred from being accredited due to that matter. The other aspect is, as the authority, probably we can look at issues independently, because a number of us have not been accredited in a number of courses due to fees. And probably if we are to look, I apply for accreditation, kindly treat it and saying complete this first so that we do that. Because now I'll have I have quality assurance fees and now mounting a course that is not registered. But if head and being inspected, though I have not paid the quality assurance fee, I could only have one issue. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one, the guy in red.
Thank you so much. My name is Ombaki Dixon, Principal, Thika School of Medical Sciences, Mombasa campus. I only have one question. We know that most of the TVET institution, we are transferring courses we are doing away with NEC to TVET SIDAC. And majority of the institution are in a quagmire whereby we don't know the transition. If we had a student who did a NEC certificate and want to transit into a diploma SIDAC exam, I would wish to get more clarification on that. And I know most of the institutions also are in a quagmire. Thank you.
Thank you. There was here.
Asante. My name is Matthew Mutuku from Kitui County. I want to raise an issue with the assessment tool or the quality audit tool, which is used by TVETA authority in assessing institutions. I think we have all observed that VTCs score very lowly in the following areas. One, research, libraries, and strategic plans. I think I was wondering whether it is possible to modify these two as far as the VTCs are concerned, because of the kind of human resources that we have in the VTCs and the kind of trainees that we have. You all know that VTCs admit everybody without any qualification. Anybody without any certificate are admissible in VTCs. So if you compare them, if you tell them to do some research, that is that would be an Herculean task. Libraries the same. What is normally trending in the VTC, and I believe we all know, is mostly doing, not actually reading. Right? That's why one of the presenters mentioned that where there are libraries or bookstores, they are hardly used by the trainees, because mostly they are doing, they are not reading to pass exams. Another thing I wanted to maybe mention is I think we can also do something as far as, comparing national polytechnics with village polytechnics. We can compare performance in particular areas across the counties, but not comparing a VTC with a national polytechnic or a TVC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very important points. That lady, and then the last one there.
So thank you so much, Dr. Keter, for this opportunity. My name is Maura Jacqueline from KNQA, and I have one question. My question is about your tool that you use to audit. Dr. Paul Wanyeki mentioned that you have 7 areas that you use to check for compliance in the institutions. And under these 7 areas, each area has a weight allocated to it. So now my question is, what are the metrics, or rather the methods that the authority uses to assign scores to each area under their checklist? Do you use a Likert scale, or how exactly are these scores awarded? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Finally, the guy at the entrance.
Thank you for the opportunity and for the presentation. My name is Robert Magare from Taita Taveta County, and it happens that I'm the research coordinator for Taita Taveta National Polytechnic. So mine is more on a suggestion on research, innovation, and cooperation. And if you look at the CATI fraternity, that is TVET institutions, there's really actualizing, moving an idea, you patent it. Yeah, we have the KIPI, the Kenya Industrial Property. Most of the institutions don't, to register a given patent, it can take even doing what, publishing them in the KIPI. The owners of the idea, including the engineers, may be left, as graduated, the supervisor not there. So it's still an hurdle. Then again is so on establishment on I think the pronouncement that they were to establish in occupational centers, county innovation in occupational centers can really assist the TVET institutions on incubating these innovation ideas. For National Polytechnic, we are not doing badly off, but funding is key. If you look at the Kenyan Constitution 2010 and the TVETA standards on establishment of National Polytechnic, the country is supposed to be geared towards allocating 2%, almost 2% of the operational budget or the national budget. But where are we at the moment or over the years? Most of the institutions are setting aside less than 1% of the same. So establishing for a national polytechnic applied research center, as much as we do the request for grant and we establish that, equipping those centers, it's really an issue. And once I'm suggesting if we equip the applied research centers in these big institutions, we can still collaborate with the VTCs and TVCs in getting more ideas, innovation ideas going to commercialization. Thank you so much. Just suggestions.
Thank you very much. So we want to respond to those issues raised. The first one from Kihiri was about the unlicensed courses. So on this consortium of courses, we passed them and we didn't see who brings them to the... They have not submitted the report. Okay. So I don't know, because if you have not submitted for the authority to go through them, then there is no way the authority will come for them wherever they are and approve them. So on the consortium, I'm very sure, and I consulted engineer and even the chair knows, we passed those courses. But we said it has been done by many people. When you want to mount them again, our team will come and see if individually again, each institution, if you have the capacity to do that. So wherever they are, maybe you forward it to us, we'll do it effectively. So on quality assurance fees, I'll give it to the DG to respond on that. The question from Gibson about transition from NEC to CDAC. Dr. Wanyeki will do that. Assessment tool, as raised by Mutuku. The issue of research, library, and strategic plans at VTC level is a very important point that I don't know how we are going to handle it, but I want somebody to respond to it. Who is ready to respond to that? Hiyo ni moto inataka ushike na the VTCs are at the lower level, but in our assessment tool, we want to see some research in them. We want to see them have a library, and you also want them to have a strategic plan. Maybe you will attempt. Thank you. The fourth one, the question from Chaki, I think Wanyeki you also will attempt it because you are the people who are doing analysis of FIPI to award those and finally from Robert. Robert, you asked of suggestions, but you were talking about the issue of communication and patenting, and a situation where it takes time to do that. The student has left. So it looks like the institution is the one who is supposed to be patenting or doing that. So, okay, thank you. So, Mansia will try on that. So let's go this way. The first one on this consortium, I think somehow I've almost answered, but let somebody else. I want the DG to also pass through that as you talk about quality assurance fee. Somebody was saying they want to bypass the quality assurance fees. You look at their program later on. Maybe you need to say something on that, DG. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. The truth is, if KRA allowed me, I would not pay tax. So we understand. And by the way, Nyandarua National Polytechnic, when Principal Felix was there, is one of the institutions we have sat with in the boardroom. And the team. So we really open to discussion. We want to understand what the institutions are going through and deal with the situation based on the reality. At one time, they did a lot of mobilization and reported, and we got that information because we triangulate. Here I am to me. So we got those figures and build technique 500 times 12,000. I want us to sit and talk. There's something which happened. So that day, when the principal was on the office to tally, he was recalled for something. He led the delegation, and we cleaned the figures and even allowed flexible. So what I'm saying is that those are different levies. Want to understand your situation and add to your payment plan. Then this other accreditation one is for a service. And by the way, it doesn't pay for the service totally. Because if, for example, TVETA was to send 3 officers from Nairobi to Taita Taveta National Polytechnic at government rates to come and be here for 2 days to inspect 2 courses for which they have paid 10,000 shillings. Yet one officer is being paid, times 2 days, 20,000, 3 times 3, 60,000. The institution has paid 10,000. So it's just a service. We are the cost, but that we are through. In fact, the biggest lesson we learned was from the finance officer of Thika Technical Training Institute. Again, he requested, he came with one of the deputy principals. We sat in the boardroom with the officer at TVETA, and he took us through some lessons. The lesson was we were invoicing them for years closed. It raises an audit query direct. And you see, that's picked, and when we presented to you the finance manual, the current one, that then we can cure that. So, brother, after our discussion, payment plans, and we understand what we're going through. Occasionally, we put the peers to task when we because you want to rely on it to also honor that. QFE stands. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think you have well. We also encourage institutions to declare the wrong one, and then it is used against you elsewhere when we come. So learn to do that. So the next one is on transition from NEC to CDAC. Mansia, can you respond to that? As yes.
Thank you. I agree that the curriculum of consortium which were developed under the supervision of the State Department, the 152 program that we did in Nyeri, once we did them, we took them to TVETA board, and the TVETA board approved them, the 152. But then they said, if an individual national polytechnic wants to consume those curricula, then they have to take them, they customize them because they do not have the details of that specific national polytechnic, they submit them to TVETA for licensing. So when we come there, we confirm, one, whether the curricula has been converted, has been adopted to your situation. Then the second thing that we do is to see whether you have the human and institutional capacity to monitor the program. Those are the three parameters that we use. So if a curriculum has not been brought to us, then again, we may not be aware. We came to Nyandarua for inspection, and the curriculum that were approved, I think and this is not Nyandarua, we are talking to all the national polytechnics. The programs were approved, but then they were approved as that level where the PS was actually coordinating so that we reduce on the cost. But when they come to us now, then they must be brought to us formally with the names of the institution. If they have been adopted by the Taita Taveta National Polytechnic, they should actually read Taita Taveta National Polytechnic, Taita Taveta Governing Council, everything should be Taita Taveta. And that's a practice. If you have done that, they will be there. The issue of transition from NEC to CDAC, I think there's a window that you are transiting. But when those students transit, if somebody that level 5 from NEC, then that person can actually join level 6 for NEC. That's actually, as per our qualification framework, is very clear.
For CDAC? From NEC to CDAC?
Yeah, if you move from NEC with a level 4, yes, you should come to CDAC level 5. Okay. The same way when you have a diploma from NEC, you go to university and you enroll for degree. Okay. Yes, that should not be an issue, and I think that's the government directive. And that's actually the practice across the globe. Thank you.
Apart from the practice, there's a circular on the same.
Okay.
And we can find the circular and still circulate it again. The circular was released by TVET CDAC on how the transition can happen. Maybe on the issue of QFE, just to remind the CATI principals and now the VTC manager and the county that are the county managers, VTC who are here, is that in almost all cases, you are collecting the money on our behalf. Because in the fee structure, there is a chargeable fee for TVETA QFE. If you have not yet put it in your institution, there is a fee charge for TVETA QFE of 500 shillings annually. On the extra approved, I've seen some few fee structures with that fee. So you are collecting it on our behalf and remitting to us. So out of the money that you are collecting, one of them is the QFE voted. So you are just remitting what you have collected to us.
Thank you for clarifying that. So you are our KRA. Ensure that our money gets back to us. So before you sit down, I wanted you to respond to the question by Jackie on metrics for measurement.
Okay, Phoebe will will respond on the metrics, but I'd task myself with the hot one on the issue of research, library, and strategic plan. We have two quality audit tools, only that for presentation here we combined the two. We have a quality audit tool that we use for vocational training centers. And for the vocational training center, the issue is not research, but we look at innovation. And this innovation is like, if you are doing carpentry, are you fabricating furnitures for sale? You are doing welding, are you fabricating some welding products for sale, like chaff cutters or seats like these ones? If you have clothing and textile, are you doing something with it? For example, this beautiful attires that the branded uniform that you are seeing our staff with, we contracted Kisumu National Polytechnic to do it for us through their AGA department for clothing and textile. So what are you doing? That's what we look for when we go for a VTC. We are not looking for publications or papers that have been done. So the issue at VTC is innovation. And we encourage county governments to engage VTC in producing such items. For example, you are required to resource the early childhood centers. You can task Vocational Training Center to do the furnitures, the seats. The county government as carries have uniform. You can task your vocational training centers to produce. In Nakuru, the Nakuru Vocational Training Center is the one that provides food for all the visitors for the county government. And that becomes their AGA. Even when we visited there, they are the people who served us when we visited the governor. So you see, such initiative, now that is part of the innovation. That's what we'll be looking at. In library, I think library is important for everyone. We have to develop libraryship, the readership. You heard this famous saying that if you just want to hide anything from an African, you put it in writing. Please, let us not hide these things from our students. Let us encourage the reading culture, whether it is e-material or the physical book. Even when they are at the lower level, let us encourage the reading culture, because that's what will support lifelong learning, continuous learning. After you exit that training center, you will continue learning on your own. Whether you are using e-book or a hard book, it's still a library. For strategic plan is for sustainability. That's why we want to know, in the next 5 years, where do you want to see your information? We have seen county governments closing vocational training centers. I might not mention the county government, the public ones, because they don't have the sustainability plan. They don't have a plan on how they will continue existing for the, they don't have strategies. So the reason why we insist on strategic plan is just for the purposes of corporate governance and proper planning, so that you sustain your existence for the next couple of years. And I think it's a good practice. For county government, we encourage that you can do one for all you have one plan for how you are going to sustain all your vocational training centers. That we have 52, and this is our plan. This is where we want to see ourselves in the next 5 years, because the strategic plan is in 5 years, based on the latest guidelines on doing strategic plans.
Thank you. Phoebe, in 2 minutes, can you try that one?
Thank you, Dr. Maybe you didn't catch the attention of the, his hand has really been up, and I think he wanted to have a rebuttal. But on the question that is at hand,
yes,
in terms of how do we score the weights we give, actually each criteria has several indicators. And the indicators are scored as to availability. If it's available, you give it a 1. If it's not, you give it a 0. And then now you add or accumulate all the scores, and it gives you the relevant scores for each criteria. So it is just availability. It is a score absolute 1 or 0. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's a scientific method. Very scientific. Good, thank you. So, Chucky, you've had. So, the last one, so that we close, Gibson, we'll give you the circular. I think your question was answered.
For them to proceed CDAC diploma. But again, for those who had done certificate NEC, and there are some of the units which they have done that they want to proceed to diploma. How are they going to do the units? 30%, 40%, or a percentage in certificate called CDAC. You will have the 3 modules. Then when you proceed to diploma.
Thank you. We will try to find a way and have a CDAC person. So, Jackie, you will respond to that because you are from Ken QA. I was not taking any more questions because of in the interest of time. Maybe the others should be written. Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow morning we can continue the process. But you finish it. There is one more remaining on commercialization. We've not responded to that. So can you carry on, Jackie?
All right, thank you so much, Chair. So on that issue, that is why we have put in place the Kenya Credit Accumulation and Transfer Policy. This is a policy that will unpackage how, when a learner is progressing from one KNQF level to the next, they do not have to necessarily repeat all the courses that they've done in the previous course. So now this policy will now come in and guide how will this learner progress from one level to the other with their credits that they've accumulated being transferred, and they can start at a certain level at the next level. So it is, the policy is waiting for cabinet approval. Not yet at the moment.
So thank you. Now she has heard it. She has heard it, and something will be done. The last one, because it had an element of collaboration, I want to request our peers to attempt. The question, PS, is that somebody was asking the issue of commercialization. The problem, this was within our tools, I think so. Was it not our TVETA tools that you are testing issue of commercialization? We cannot take it again to the PS. So I think we should sort our issue out. On that issue, give us time. Maybe we respond tomorrow morning on that one. Yeah. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for the good work. Let's clap for ourselves. Ile anyayo tu. Moja, mbili, funga, fungua. Thank you very much. Back to the program manager.
Thank you very much. We have clapped for ourselves. Now we clap for the sessional chair. Moja, funga, fungua. I was about to start welcoming you. Karibu. Okay, thank you. You have been very good participants for the day. We have really engaged. We have felt that these are real stakeholders engagement where we are engaging, we are listening, and we are adjusting to what needs to be done. So today we were disseminating the quality assurance report. And that's what we have engaged on. Tomorrow, we'll be doing the listening and writing and recording while you will be talking now. Tomorrow is your day. So tomorrow we expect to listen to several presentations. One is the presentation from the CATI principals. You organize yourself and do a presentation on what is can be improved in the implementation of the CBET curricula and in our operations. What needs to be improved. You can also comment on what we are doing good and what the government has done good. But we know the main purpose why we are here is for the purposes of continuous improvement. We are not vilifying anyone, but it's for the purpose of continuous improvement. We'll also have a presentation from the managers of vocational training centers. Liaise with all your colleagues who are here, because we might be having unique issues that maybe might be affecting the vocational training center and they are not affecting or impacting on the technical and vocational colleges. We'll also be listening to presentation from the county directors of TVET from the county governments. We want to know, and this one will be joined together with the chief officers and together with the CCM, just to address the issues affecting the county. So together, you can address the chief officers who are here, the CCM members who are here, the county directors. I know the caucus chair of the county directors will be arriving tomorrow. Maybe they have been also communicating in their group. That is Director Lusweti from Trans Nzoia County. Will be with us tomorrow. We'll also listen to KENAPCO, the private sector. Will give you an opportunity. You can put up something. It's not a must to be in slides, even for all of us. What we want to listen to are the issues that you are raising. So it's not a must to be a PowerPoint presentation. Even if you have put them down as point form, we will be taking the presentation. Is there anyone that I've left out? Private? I think I mentioned the private institution. So I think all of us have been, then we'll be able to respond to what can be responded or inquiries, but it will culminate to a communique, and also we'll have a stakeholders report. Then the stakeholders report will be used to develop advisories to the cabinet secretary so that we find what can we improve. For example, there's a question that I was asked by the CCM that what is the future of vocational training centers? That's what we want you to now to present to us here so that we can be able to cascade it to other levels. Today, we started a little bit late, and therefore, if you check in our program, there are some few things that we have rolled over. There's one presentation that we have rolled over, a presentation from the Ngao. If tomorrow they will be able to be around, we'll listen to it. But for us to be able to recover, we are proposing that tomorrow we start a little bit earlier, and I want to listen to you. What time can we start so that we can also be able to finish on time? You know, I'm doing public participation. I don't want to be... There's a proposal of 9. There is 10. Oh. 9. Can we do 8:30? So that by 9 we are deep into the program. From 8:30 we do the recap. From 8:30 to 9 we are doing the recap. From 9 we have started listening to the presentation so that we ensure that we have answered and addressed to all the raised hands. You see, today there are some few raised hands that have remained up and we have not answered because of time. So we want to start at 8:30. And kindly ikuwe ile masaa ya Mkenya. Just quiz to may improve. I don't want to say British time. But let us keep time so that we can start on time. So at this point, this function is not for the management, this function is for the board. I'll welcome the chair of the board to give us her blessings. Then after which, Madam Phoebe, prepare to pray for us. You have to pray for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, the representative of our PS, for sitting with us throughout the day and listening to the conversations. In the morning, when I was making my remarks, I promised you, we have come to listen to you, to listen to what has worked, to listen to the challenges, and to listen to best practices. I sat there with my notebook, and I assure you, I have written those three things. I have written some of the challenges you have raised. I have also written some of the best practices that you have raised and areas of improvement and recommendations. And I have also listened to what is working, because from the presentations that were made here, there are things that are working. I want to appreciate each one of you for being resilient, for sitting in. We have sat up to quite late. We were not expecting to be here at this point, but you have shown resilience, and I appreciate each one of you. We encourage you this evening to prepare your presentations, because as you have heard, tomorrow my technical team, my very able technical team, they will not be speaking. They will be listening to you, taking notes, and documenting what you'll be presenting to us. Till tomorrow, more than 90%, it is your time, and we are ready for you. Asanteni sana. I appreciate all of you. Let us clap for ourselves again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair and Prof. As I pray, this prayer has really been following me, so I've decided I'll pray. I'll just request to add to what Dr. Wanyeki has indicated. Kindly, as we leave, let me get the names of those who will be presenting, making the presentations for the sake of our program. So as you go, select one of you who is going to put together your facts for tomorrow. So I'll want a name from Kati, a name from the county governments, the VTC, and the private institutions. Kindly. Let's be upstanding for the prayer. Almighty God, we want to thank you this evening for the far that you brought us. Thank you, Lord Almighty Father, for all the activities that you've had for each